Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. No hands because transcript. Huh? Oh, there's a courageous one. Yes, no questions. Okay, Paula can come.
Hello, Father.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. There's been on the last days. It came. It's like a new inquiry around where are my limitations, and it's not very clear.
Yes. Just talk a bit more about when you say.
I started with the basics, like that is the body, and I can't really say where it begins and where it starts, where it ends and where it begins. It's not very clear.
So you're checking on the limitations, and
yes.
And what are you using to check? You're using yourself. No, you're using your sense of being probably to check whether that has a boundary and whether the boundary condition of body or room or world, any of these conditions actually satisfy and they create a apparent boundary for your beingness. Is that what it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's because you said that I'm free, and Guruji says that I am the self. So I feel that I have no other choice than accept that. Yeah. So it's at this point I cannot question that anymore. But so where this idea of limitation came, or how is this about?
Firstly, acceptance can be a confusing notion. So, do you have to accept that you're sitting on a couch?
No.
So, on what basis do we conclude that I'm sitting on a couch? Let's start simply like that.
I don't have to question it because I'm here sitting on a couch.
Yes, and you perceive it, and that's how you conclude.
Yes.
It. You perceive the couch, yes. You perceive the body, you perceive the sensations in the body which presumably are coming from the couch, and that leads us to conclude that we are on the couch. Now, to check on our limitlessness, we can check that all the perceptions are only appearing within myself, within my being, but to the limitlessness of the being, their perception cannot go. So all that the exercise can do is take away the make-believe idea of limitation. But you cannot perceive the limitless boundary because that is itself beyond the limit of what perception can do.
Yes.
So as we are trying to become clear about this and to make this very obvious, then what we can do is that we can use this kind of exercise to see that none of this set of perceptions can actually limit me, because you don't find one on one side of perception and something else on that side of perception on the basis of which you could have said I'm only constrained within this, you see. But your limitlessness cannot be confirmed through perception. Your limitlessness can only be confirmed intuitively. You see? So, and that is why it's simpler to confirm actually, not more difficult. You see, it can only seem more difficult because we're used to confirmation coming from the mind on the basis of perception or on the basis of some conceptual knowledge. But now, so if now you don't refer to your mind, what is the limitation?
No, I don't know.
Exactly. The notion of
I don't
limitation does
know.
not arise there. The notion of boundary or limitation or even limitlessness for that matter is not applicable in your reality. These are just ideas in our intellect, which coming to satsang, it is they are being washed away. And in the washing away of them, the job is done. See? And I reiterate,
And sorry, and in the washing of them, what did you say
in
next?
the washing away of them, the job is done.
The job is done. Okay.
Whatever needs to be done is done. You see? So we must not feel that I must shift from a limited position to now an unlimited position. To shift out from the limited position is enough. You see? Because even the notion of limitlessness is a limitation for your reality. Because you will have an idea of what that is. And that idea can to your reality.
Yes, I like trying to uh, go like deeper on this. Uh,
So, but what I'm
the
now
tension
saying, we
is
cannot try. You see? What I'm now sharing, what we can try is the first part. We can try and see, okay, am I something which is limited by these body sensations? Am I something which is limited by these perceptions? You can try like that. But to find your limitlessness, you cannot try. You can only let go of the false.
yes. What I was trying to express is that in this letting go of the false, I've seen that the character of the satsang narrative
Yes, yes,
it is it's there. Maybe it's there the limitation, like
yes,
this continuous trying and and see that it's in the future and
yes. Very
uh,
well spotted. That's very well spotted because there comes a point where the satsang narrative itself becomes the limiting set of notions. So you can conclude,
yes.
at best, we can conclude in our intellect that there is no limit. I cannot find a boundary. But to be limitless or to find your limitlessness it is not an intellectual conclusion that we can ever arrive at. And that was the bhajan at the beginning, where in the bhajan both the opposites were taken and it was said not this and not that, neither this nor that. So neither limited nor limitless is Shivoham Shivoham.
Yes, yes, I've seen these last days, this like this battle of the opposites
Yes,
clear,
yes,
and that yes, no, neither of those applies to it's applies to the character, not it's something like this. I don't know.
it becomes more and more difficult to speak about this. You see, because to speak we need to be conclusive about something, and you're recognizing that it's impossible to really be conclusive, and that's why we start saying I don't know a lot more. You see,
Yes.
whereas in actuality you're knowing deeper than you have ever known. You're accessing the true source of knowing. You see, but But to be able to translate that which is so naturally available into a conclusion or a narrative becomes impossible.
Yes. Don't know what else to say.
This feeling I know very well.
Oh, just yesterday it came something very, very profound that I want to say to you, that I don't know how this works, or but I feel to ask you to accept myself as your disciple. I don't know if this is needed or not. I don't know, but it's in my heart very, very deeply.
So sweet. I understand the sentiment with which you make that request, and it's fully accepted in my heart. I just feel like everyone is my disciple till they figure it out. But remember, I'm not speaking as Ananta. I'm speaking as the voice which is using Ananta as an instrument. So
Yes, and
till
that's what I say. That sorry.
it's okay. Till mostly what happens is still suffering pokes out the uh, uh, egotism in our appearance as human beings on this planet. You see. Suffering keeps poking us till we come to the refuge of the divine principle in our heart. And many times, an external master is a useful tool to point to that divine principle in the heart. And in the design of consciousness, whatever I've seen so far, there is no choice but the master to show up if it is needed in that way. So, so in that way, everyone is a disciple of the divinity in their own hearts. But sometimes you need a form, because we're so used to relating to name and form that provisionally we need a form to point us to that. And this this body mind is being used as an instrument by that uh, divine principle to point to itself.
Yes, and you're still a mystery to me. Like when Guruji came, it is the same. I know it's the same, but it's still like, who are you, and who are you? Who are you? And I love you. I cannot say anything else. And I follow you with all my heart, and I trust, and I give you my life and whatever. I'm at your feet. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Very sweet. That's all. You're here, right here.
Thank you.
Okay. I saw Nupur first. Let's go to Nupur.
Pranam, Father.
Namaste.
Father, there was this hearing of some words that happened, and the thought that was expressed by the speaker was that enlightenment or self-realization is the highest attainment, but it is not it's not easiest, or it's not something that comes naturally. And the doubt again crept in very quickly, because of those words were heard at that, and it was seen that the doubts come up, and the fact that this recognition of self is something that is the highest attainment, and to have a living master like you who we can speak through is again is a divine blessing. And then that somewhere this recognition happened that there is this feeling that this is something which cannot be done by the mind or the body or the person. There has to be something beyond the effort, Father.
Definitely. And in fact, we just spoke about this also when I said you cannot try it. No, you cannot try to do it. You can try to negate whatever you may positively be able to conclude. You may be able to negate that and come to a neutrality, but you cannot use the tool of effort, you see, because your intellect can be effortful, the body we can exert, but your intuition, nobody can say, I'm exerting my intuition today. I think I'm using my intuition too much. You see, it can't work like that. That is not how intuition works. So, so provisionally, it can feel like it is some effort to let go of the false, and that effort is all right, as Bhagwan said. But you cannot effort your way to the recognition of the truth. You see, you can only effort your way to the negation of the false. You see? And even then, you'll realize that even that seeming effort was the play of consciousness itself. So let me add to the what the speaker said. It is the highest and the easiest, you see, but I understand where the speaker is coming from, because it is not easy from the mindset that we have, you see. So it is actually the easiest because it is organically here right now, effortlessly. Your reality is just here. You see, it is the false which actually takes the effort. But I understand where the speaker is coming from, because we are so used to this habit of concluding of notions, of taking beliefs to be true, so that it can feel like it is some effort to let go of those.
So, Father, then what to do?
So how
If
would
there
be
is
the easiest? Like okay, let's take this example. How much effort are you taking to sit on that chair right now?
no effort.
No effort. What is even simpler than that? You have to be able to sit on the chair.
Yes,
Okay? And to conclude that I am sitting on the chair, you are taking some effort of taking yourself to be something.
yes.
So don't make that effort. You see, now the body boundary is gone. That's simple. You see, if you don't take that effort to define yourself in that way, you see, some sensation may be perceived, but those don't bind you. You see, so to be is simpler than to even sit. You see, now, but what is simpler than even being?
The aware, the knowing that it's the knowing that I am.
Yes, the knowing, which is even independent of I am or I am not. You see, is the simplest.
The knowing gets hijacked by the thoughts and the sensations, and that's where the trap
Yeah. So
lies.
exactly, and that is why in satsang we're constantly pointing out that it's a trap. You see, and of course because it's a habit, therefore the de-addiction from the habit seems to take some time, and that is fine. But the point is that if you notice, it is more effort to exert that attention and to exert that belief. To not exert anything is effortless, no? Now, effortlessly take yourself to be something objective.
The body, you mean, Father?
Yeah, or anything, any idea, including the self or being or anything. Just remain open and empty, effortless. Now, what are you?
Just open and empty, Father. There's nothing.
Yes, yes. Very good. So what is easier to inject the poison and then to inject the antidote, not inject the poison at all?
Not to inject the poison at all.
You see? And it is the injecting of the poison which you will see more and more that is effortful. Although initially everybody comes to satsang feeling that it is so effortless for us to identify, you will notice that it is not so. To pick up from the conveyor belt is always more effortful than to just allow it to come and go. You see, but in the conveyor belt itself, one of the first thing that comes is that it's so effortful to let go, and we end up buying that. We end up picking that up. Okay, I'm just going to mute everyone again. One moment. One second, I'll do this again. Okay, now it should be fine. You see,
And
what's the problem? The only problem that I've seen is that we are left with nothing to put in our narrative. So, क्या हुआ? हुआ क्या पर क्या हुआ? That question is unanswered. You see, and that is problematic because the mind says, "What happened? Nothing." Maybe in that moment, so the narrative it will find will be like this: Yes, it was fine in front of Ananta. We looked together. It was so open and empty. But now, see, it's not permanent. What did you actually find? So all this rubbish will come on the same conveyor belt, and because we feel like there's nothing, no alternative to put into our narrative, then we go with that. So allow your narrative to be empty. What has happened? Nothing. What needs to happen? Nothing. Are you getting it? No. Are you not getting it? No. You see, all make it all not applicable. It's the wrong form. You don't have to fill up that form at all.
also, Father, I notice in this particular body and mind apparatus, there is this feeling that it's only grace that will help to let go of all these burdens and just a complete surrender.
Option one is only grace. Option two is
It's all grace anyways.
So it's not really an alternative, but I realize what you mean. It's mostly about I have to do it or grace can do it for me.
Yes.
But you're not able to say option two because it's starting to sound ludicrous to you anyway, because you cannot find this separate I who is to do it anyway. You see? So all the doing, apparent doing, ultimately there is no such thing as doing, but all the apparent doing of consciousness must be grace. No? It's not that God is making a mistake sometimes and he's doing good stuff on other times. So all of it must be grace. That's why we say Guru Kripa Kevalam. Only the Master's grace is. Actually, it is the only option. There is no alternative.
So, Father, by that, there is nothing to worry about? There's nothing to control. There's nothing to fear.
Of course, Matthew. Nothing to worry, nothing to fear.
It's just the highest blessing, Father.
What can take away that which is more effortless than even sitting on the chair?
Habit.
But even that, making wrong conclusions or misidentification, happens on top of the substratum. No? So even in that, it is
Yes.
not gone. You see?
No.
Like Bhagavan said, till I am, there is no trouble. But when I am itself starts to believe I am something, that is the source of all trouble. But it's still the same I am, which is using the power of its own belief to identify with something in the objective appearance. So satsang is just consciousness reminding consciousness that it is not hostage to its power of belief or identification. It can let go. You see, but if it starts with the mask of individuality and then tries to say, okay, this individual should now be free, that is like putting on the mask to see your original face. That cannot happen. You see,
But
and that's where the
Father,
contradiction which the mind can present goes away. Because on one hand we are saying just let go, you can do it. You see, on the other hand we're saying but there is nobody there individually who can do anything at all because that one doesn't exist. So the non-existent one cannot do. But the thing is that the instruction to let go is just a reminder that consciousness is presenting to itself. You see, because the at the core of the I am something belief is still the true I amness, which can be empty of the notional something.
so when this the thought and the idea again grips us that I am this person or I am this body.
Okay, you try to make the idea grip you. Let the idea come now, let's see how it grips you. It should survive the click, okay? Right now, you cannot be open and empty just naturally. You should be gripped. Let me see that one.
No, Father, it's not happening.
It cannot happen like that because consciousness is never hostage in that way. It just plays with these notions, and when it's done with this play, it's joy.
Thank you, Father.
So welcome, so welcome.
Love you, Father.
You too.
Just
Okay, let's go to Shivoham. Shivoham heard me calling him.
Hello, Father.
My love.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hello.
I was getting some complaints on the audio now. Is it better?
Well, it's the same. It seems a little bit far away, but it's audible for me.
Okay, we'll try. Maybe I speak up a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see how.
Well, should I go?
Yes, yes.
uh, I wanted to come and say hello first of all, and I wanted to to pray. I have a prayer. I don't know how
Yes, a prayer.
how to say a prayer, and it's about to let I can't say it now, but
Say it in Italian first. You can say it in Italian
well,
first. Maybe it become more natural.
I don't know in Italian either.
Oh yes.
But I had it clear, but right now is oh my God.
The hot seat
I
effect.
went,
Is it the hot seat effect? Is it the hot seat effect?
I think so. Or it's just your presence that I wanted to pray to you, Father, that only the desire for truth remains here, and please help me to burn all other desires, and to and just to
Yes. All my prayers are with you for this. But sometimes we can be very hard on ourselves. So, is it? So, is it number one desire?
I
If
don't know.
then
This is why I'm praying, because sometimes it seems that it's not,
yeah.
and
But
I'm getting some.
Mostly, if you look at your life in the last, say, 5 years, would you,
Yes.
at an overall basis, would you say it is number one compared to everything else?
Yes.
Then
Yes, I
more
think
than
so.
you're fine. You see, because that desire hunting otherwise can become a big exercise, and pleasing desire,
That's
which you don't need. It's fine
I see that.
as
Yeah.
long as you're longing for this at an overall level more than anything else over a period of time, then it is fine. There will be spurts where you'll want to do a painting or something. Then if you beat yourself up and say, no, you see, I'm supposed to want only freedom, I want that. It's not like that. You see, in the
But
place of life,
because sometimes this fight seems to take place, no?
yeah, you leave that fight, leave that playground. You see, leave that boxing ring. Don't worry about any of that.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. You see, so if you are in satsang and you've been in satsang so consistently over the last few years, I have no worry as far as that is concerned. Consciousness from time to time will play with various aspects of itself, and that's all right. It's completely fine. This world appearance is for it to play. If you define yourself too strongly or too much in that way, then that can become a big mental struggle. So let it be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when my son was born, my biological son was born, I had all these questions. So what to do if he asks for candy? Should I give or not? And then soon I realized that there is no such template. You cannot say always give or always don't give. You just have to sometimes give, sometimes not give. You see? So there is no hard and fast sort of rule. The same way with the ego. You cannot be so hard on your desire and say, no, no, I cannot watch this, I cannot do painting, I cannot go for a trek, I cannot do this. You see, because I am only going to, find the self, which is impossible to do in that way anyway. Like, what would you
It's
do?
true.
You would put on a guided meditation and you would hear it for some time. Then after that, you ask yourself, who am I? Okay, another hour, you ask yourself, who am I? Then after that, maybe 2 hours, 3, 4. Then after that, you see. So what I'm presenting to all of you is a different way of being. You see, and that is just to go with your heart moment to moment, and not be so stuck up in our heads in terms of what the life has to be like. And that can seem like a risk. And the number one response I get with that when I present this kind of freedom is that, but what if I don't, if I'm not spiritual anymore? What if I stop seeking the truth? You see, if moment to moment I don't get the inspiration to inquire, then should I just leave all of it?
Yes,
You see, that fear can come, but it's not
I felt it. Yeah,
yes, yes,
I felt that fear. Yeah.
yes. But it's not a valid fear because this is consciousness playing, and only if it is the will of consciousness will it reveal itself in its full glory to itself. So if you're not fooling yourself, and that's why all that is needed is a little bit of honesty to yourself, integrity to yourself. If you're truly following your heart moment to moment, you see, you cannot be misled or go down the wrong path. And even if you seem to take some steps which are mental, which were concluded by the mind, you see, then the thing with this is that it's click, right? It's an instant. So
Mm.
one instant of God, one instant of meeting your true intuitive intelligence is it's enough to clean up all the missteps, the seeming missteps, which are not really truly missteps anyway.
Yes.
So what is happening for many of us is that the seeker identity itself is the most viable one that we revert to, we return back to, you see, and we feel like that identity is in service to the truth. But and this is not for everyone, but most of you here can hear this, that even that must be let go of. One time, maybe you were there actually. This lady came, she was logging in for the first time, and she was from Australia, Indian lady who lives in Australia. She said to me something like, Ananta-ji or even Swami-ji, something like that. And she said, can you please tell us your daily routine? You see, I said, what do you want with that? No, 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 we just want to know, what is your daily routine? Maybe she wanted to emulate the routine. So I said to her, okay, I'll tell you, but you have to promise not to leave satsang because of that. So then I said, oh, I had a late night last night. Maybe I was watching a movie. Then I woke up a bit late. And then, I checked my phone. And then, and I just told her what my routine was. There was no meditation in that. There was nothing like that. And that was the last I saw her. I never saw her. You see? Not that I'm not asking anyone to emulate that. I'm not asking anyone to emulate that. But it's not, it doesn't have to become so hard-coded. You see? You could be in a cave for 100 years, you see, and inquiring into the nature of who you are. But if you're attached to the identity of finding that out, of the seeker who wants the truth, you see, then it's still not going to work. So you have to just open up. You have to loosen up. You see, just loosen up a bit. I know you're very good at that, but this is for everyone, because I remember your rock music and things. But you see, just we become too hard. You see, spiritually hard. You just have to open up a bit more.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
And you can see
Thank you.
with with I had the honor of being with a few masters in this life, but you can see with Guruji so palpably that there's nothing hard coded at all. There's just some very broad strokes, like the broad strokes of a painting. And if it doesn't go according
Nothing,
to that,
sorry?
nothing so
I couldn't get.
hard coded, defined so strongly that it has to be like this, then it has to be like that.
Yes.
You see, there are some broad strokes for the benefit of the Sangha, which can tell you, okay, this time there is Satsang, usually on this day, this kind of thing. But if it doesn't go that way, then it's not that he gets worried about that or concerned that it doesn't happen that way. It's just consciousness. God is running this life. No? Then what is there to worry?
Wow.
What is there to worry so much?
Wow.
And just to be super safe, what you could do is you could tell some Sangha friends, you see, if you don't see me in satsang for a month, this is my number. Call me. If I'm saying, no, I'm going to be at the beach and I'll see you next year. You see, then they force you to come back. Somebody who can be authoritative with you. That much is enough. That much is okay. Even that is not needed, but if it reassures you in some way. If we didn't have this game of discovering that which we truly know already in our heart, then what would we do?
Mm.
So, by the way, I'm not saying, like masters have said that, but I'm not saying give up the search. You see, I'm saying neither give up the search nor be the seeker. Just don't have a position with regards to this at all. You see, because I've seen that also spiritual ego variant where it can take on this idea, no, I'm not seeking anymore. You see, I am
Yeah.
itself. I am not seeking. You see, but still the I is still the wrong one. So don't take either position, either of seeking or not seeking.
Mm.
So the only thing then problematic is that you don't know how to define yourself. Are you a spiritual seeker? I don't know. What would you be? You don't have to transcribe this whole thing now. I'm feeling a bit sorry for you. But little bit you can do, and then it's fine.
I was trying to keep it very short.
Yeah, I realize. I realize.
Just to pray.
Yeah. Now what's happening to all of you is that as I'm answering, I'm saying, yeah, good, it's good.
Because it was my question as well.
Jyotima has a side deal for you. She's saying that she had the same question, so she will do half the answer.
Okay. It's okay, Father.
He had one of our. He'll also share the load. But I feel like it's nice. I see the fun that some of us are having with the transcripts, but I feel like it's a nice exercise because I noticed many times that we end up asking the same question again or just not letting go of that mental trip that we're on. And sometimes when we have to transcribe that, we immerse ourselves more deeply in that and we see that whatever answer can be provided in words has been provided there already. So in that way, it's quite helpful. So I'm okay to continue with this experiment for a bit, although most of you know that I don't like troubling my children in any way, but I feel like this is good satsang for everyone.
I feel it's very good too, Father. It's very good too.
Conceptually, I realize all of you are feeling it's very good. But when it's coming down to actually doing the
I never did it before, but I'll try this time and see. I'll report it. I report next week to you.
So basically, what I'm saying is loosen up. Just loosen up. What was it? We had this meeting one time where I was just saying this. Just soften it up. Just soften it up a bit. Like sometimes we can become very hard with our spiritual ideas about ourselves, and they can be very oppressive. Just soften them up a bit.
Oh, that's true.
It's all soft and nice like that. Then the ego can't really build a strong house. But when we get caught in our, it should be like this, it has to be like that, all this should, would, could gets us in trouble. Okay, he's doing that thing again, so we can go to the next. We can go to the next question. I'm just messing around. All my love.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, my dear. Okay, I see Supriya next. Those who finish can just put their hands down.
Namaste, Father. How are you, Father?
I'm good. And you?
I'm fine, Father. Just, I think, just wanted to meet you like this today.
She's trying to keep it short. She's trying to keep it. Now, a long sermon about the true nature of consciousness is response. It's just I see you and it's coming. I can't help it.
Father, I don't even know why I raised my hand, but listening to your conversation with Shiva.
Because your appearance had to come to inspire this half an hour sermon on the nature of consciousness. I'm having so much fun with this transcription.
Just Father, since morning, there's been a lot of surrendering that was happening, and I think there was in the morning a decision that today to be in front of you, to just surrender everything up. But I felt it was not even like it just started to happen then. It was almost happening right there in front of you.
Morning, Supriya, that has got you in trouble now. You blame her after this conversation. Where is she now? The one who decided in the morning. Where is she? Let's catch her and make her do the transcript.
Yes, Father.
Where is she
The imaginary Supriya.
doing the imaginary transcript?
No, Father, just seeing a lot of life playing out. The the opposites or the contracted states all playing out, and just they're so evident because life is presenting them like that. It's just playing out the dependencies going away, the insecurities, the lack, so everything has just been literally stirred out of the system. And since it's obviously playing out right now, so there was this deep, deep prayer to just completely surrender it. It's I don't even know, Father, if I can say that it's identified. I can't even say there is anything that is like a residue left to even mull over. It's just playing out, and it just, but and there was this, yes, Father, there's definitely there was this feeling of coming in front of you and again sitting at your feet and saying that keep holding my hand, keep me in your heart, and just here and just here.
Always, always.
Love you, Father.
I love you too. Remember that if it is playing out, it is a play that is happening, yes?
Yes, Father, and it's happens like that, that it just plays out, it just seen like that, and there is no one really who's getting affected also. Maybe for a few moments it's strong, but it just goes away. But yeah, Father, I just wanted to be here in front of you
Very, very
and meet
good.
you like this.
I see the openness. I see. It's very good.
Yes, Father, just hold me here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So welcome. So welcome. Very good. Okay, let's go to Niranjan, Jada, then few more. Let's go to Niranjan.
Hello, Namaste, Father.
Hello, my love.
Just a second, I am switching on my video.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, yes. I see you, man.
Okay. How are you, Father?
I'm fine, my dear. Are things a bit better with the hospital and the COVID situation now?
Yeah, it's much better now. Actually, we are not seeing many cases now, so it appears to be a bit flattened.
Good, good.
But you never know.
Don't know. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. I just wanted to say hi and something.
Good, my dear. Good. Happy to see you.
Yeah, because I don't have any question. Like, but since for quite I can't say quite long time, but I just wanted to say hi. That's all.
Yes, yes, my dear. Last time also, I saw your hand. I called you, but maybe you were busy with some meeting or something. But
No, no, you were very quick with the next participant.
oh, I see. When you can put on the chat also.
No, no, no. I didn't have any questions, so just it was like that. Because just before I could unmute myself, you shifted to the next part.
Oh, I see.
Not that I don't want to transcribe or something, but
No,
I don't have any question. I don't have any questions. So
I'm buying your story because you have not had a question for quite some time.
no, no. But it has nothing to do with transcribing.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm buying the story.
Maybe if you want to ask something, I don't know.
It's good. It's good. I'm just happy to see you. And all my love, all my blessings are with you.
Thank you, Father. Are we allowing visitors now? No.
Not really. Maybe another few weeks. Be all right.
Yeah, because I got a call from Punita also. The one.
You know Punita? Okay, good, good.
She is also from Gujarat, no? So I gave her your number
Yes,
because she was asking me your number. So and she called me that she also wants to come to Bangalore.
yes, yes. She spoke with Pankaj. I believe they're in touch.
Uh-huh.
So Pankaj will guide her when we open up.
That's why. And, she was saying that maybe we can come together or something.
That'll be nice. Very good.
But still, it would be few weeks, no?
Could be a few weeks. Yes.
So it could be many more because by the time people are saying there could be third wave or something, we don't know.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. And open satsangs are also not happening. Rishikesh open satsangs,
Yeah, this year looks very unlikely.
otherwise we could meet there also.
Yes.
I attended the two of Rishikesh open satsangs, but somehow I couldn't meet you.
Yeah,
That's the
it's not at the same time. Yes.
yeah, because probably you come in the beginning and at the end most
Something
of the
like that.
time,
Something
something like that. 1 or 2 weeks in the beginning and 1 or 2 weeks at the end.
Yeah.
Maybe my schedule was in between somewhere. That's why. Let's hope I can meet you.
Yes. I'm looking forward to the visit. If both of you can come, that'll be nice.
You have had water or no?
Sorry, my dear.
Water? You have had water? Not,
I
not
haven't
yet.
had water. No, I haven't had water for quite.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's how I can buy a longer time with you.
Ah. I can finish this whole glass with you.
Sure. You can have another one also.
I need to take a restroom break soon.
What's with the family? All well? Kids and all?
Yeah, there. He's just making conversation now.
Yeah, what?
I'm always with you, man. Always.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Baba.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go to a new name, a relatively new name. Let's go to Amol.
Namaskar, Anandaji.
Yeah,
How are you?
good, good, good.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I try to draw some diagram to ask you, but again, it's a lot of situations where it's helping. The understanding helps. That's what I realize more than anything else. So more you understand, more you can be you can be conscious or aware, or continuous state of awareness comes. So thank you for that, Jay. It's very clear. Specifically, those hours spent with you, or even looking at your YouTube videos, I can feel that today's world, the Buddha field is transferred through internet also.
Yes.
Yeah, but and I was specific question, Anand. See, I was listening in your couple of big stacks video about, you talked about and the body as a bucket of bucket of flesh and all, where you cannot have a distinction of inside and outside. So my question would be, what is a relation between a capital I and a small I, and what is the relation between you as an Ananta, capital U, and your small u, and how those relations are differing?
Okay, good. That's a good one. Truly, the answer is very simple, but I'll expand on that a bit more. So, truly, it is like saying, what is the relationship between you and the cat that is sitting next to you?
Yeah.
Easy. There is no such cat, so you cannot have a relationship. But if you had a lot of ideas about this cat, and you had a full narrative about the cat, you see, if the cat had a name and it seems to have a story, almost like a recurring dream, where the story seems to continue, you see, then there could be some attachment to that cat. So if I was to say to you, like a child and their imaginary friend, if I was to say to a child, no, you will never meet Toby the elephant or whatever again, they're bound to be upset, you see. So what happens is that in satsang we are recognizing the nature of our true selves, and we're realizing that the false one has never really existed. So what then happens is some fear comes that, but what happens to the life of this one? You see, and of course we realize intellectually hearing the words in satsang that it's all taken care of, it doesn't exist anyway, so why is so much concern? But that fear on which all the conditioning was picked up anyway, you see, when we were resisting the conditioning, when our parents were trying to teach us, when society was trying to teach us, then we said, why do I have to learn this mechanical engineering, and why do I have to learn this chemistry, and why do I have to learn the capitals of countries and things like that? They said, but using this knowledge you will be able to live better. Now I think become empty of all notion. This fear on the basis of which we picked up the conditioning is coming saying, but can I really live like that? You see, is the intuitive intelligence good enough to lead this life? That fear can be there. You see, so somewhere it can feel like I need to hedge my bets a bit. I need to hedge my bets also a bit and say, hey, this is fine for satsang, and mostly it is fine. You see, but actually I want what I'm learning from satsang to help the life of this one to lead a better life. You see, so it can seem like going too far when in satsang we are invited to let go of all identity, you see, or all notions of the small I. Then it can feel like no, but my attempt really was, the feeling why with which I came to satsang was to be able to help this one. You are saying get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it. I want to help this. I want to use my spirituality to help this one. You see, but at the core of it is the primal conditioning that we have, which says that greater knowledge helps us lead for this one a better life. You see, so what's happening is that as we are learning to let go and we are learning to trust life to run itself, you see, life is running life. Life is leading life. It needs no assistance from a tiny aspect called the mind or the intellect. You see? But for a while that trust is developing, we feel like, okay, what is the right balance I need to have, or what is the right relationship I need to have? So, what is the relationship of the ocean and a wave? can be a metaphor to describe that. But in this case, funnily enough, the wave is non-existent.
Hmm.
So, but provisionally, if it helps, then we can use the metaphor of an ocean and a wave to allow ourselves, as long as we consider ourselves to be the wave, then we can allow ourselves to surrender to the ocean, because it is the ocean which is taking us wherever we are meant to go. And then what happens is the self-judgment goes away. Otherwise, imagine the wave saying, "Oh yes, I did so well. I went so high," you see, or the last one was not so great. I didn't go high enough. Then all that become laughable when you realize that all of it is coming from the ocean itself, and it is not something that you are a puppet to. It is not something that is pulling your strings, and you are a mere object that is being driven by a greater force. You are the greater force itself, in which this flesh bucket, as I said earlier, is showing up. You see, and is being lived in the light of this very consciousness, in the light of this very ocean. The wave is playing out the way it is meant to.
Yeah, yeah, Ananta-ji. But well, again, it's the logics which are. I mean, there are a few things which is beyond my contemplation or beyond even my manifestation. So maybe more understanding, more awareness will help. But I understand in my context. So maybe how different is mindset with
Let's take
yours?
this there. I promise to answer the question.
Okay.
But can we for a minute delve into this? When we say my context, who are we talking about?
The small I
You see?
and my mind.
Okay. Now, what makes it you?
If I want to start listing down, it's all which is.
Can I help you with that? Maybe make it a bit simpler. So,
Yeah.
what is more naturally you? So, I'll continue using the term big I and small I like we're using in the conversation here. What is more naturally here, big I or the small I?
For me, naturally, it's smaller now.
Now, this is what we must look at. You see, because this is my gift to all of you, to present to you the seeing, the recognition that like this, in the most natural way, you see, already what is here is not limited in any way, is not constrained in any way, no matter what the perception may be. You see, and we're doing a bit of this experimentation with some previous questioners as well. So, and this is what I'm saying, that for God to pick up the mask of individuality and then try to become God is a very difficult and many lifetime type project. You see, for God to not pick up that mask is actually much simpler. You see, now the number one tool the mind has is to tell you that, oh, who, me? Little old me? No, I have to find God first. I cannot say something like that. You see, it is too much. It is too much. So I'm not asking you to worry about what you say, whether it's arrogant, not arrogant, none of that. Just naturally what is here now. You see, are you able to point out how you are limited in this very moment?
No, if in this particular moment, no.
You see, so no magic happened. Just only thing that changes that we are looking instead of buying into the mind's idea of our being limited. We're just allowing ourselves to recognize. Now, that which is here now, like you are aware now, that which is aware now, you see, does it have any limitation? Can we call it small in any way?
No, but yeah, no. However, so
I noticed you changed the word from but to however, but it's still.
I am always in a doubt whether is it also one step back of my mind only.
Yeah.
Everything I have known is through mind.
Yeah.
So how I am even going to go beyond it in any context?
Yes, yes, yes. So to make it simpler, let's use Bhagwan's definition of mind, how what he usually used. You see? So he said the mind is a bundle of thoughts. You see? And let's clarify that bundle of thoughts also as thoughts which are these conceptual messages that seem to pass through. Okay. So let's, for the purpose of this conversation, just limit our definition of mind to just that.
Hmm.
And let's put all the rest, perception, you see, existence, love, truth, all of this, let's say that is just naturally appearing in being itself. You see?
Hmm.
So you talked about perception, that everything that you know is through the mind. So let's change that definition. The mind is just the conceptual interpretations which are coming and going. You see, but all perception, everything else is happening as consciousness itself, as being itself.
Yeah.
Now, without referring to those messages, that's what I mean when I say don't refer to the mind. Pure perception can continue. That means uninterpreted perception can continue. You see? And all interpretations can come and go. Now, what do you find yourself to be?
It is, if I drop that, simply I don't exist.
Who notices that you don't exist?
Isn't it my mind?
But you dropped that already. So that cannot. You see? So what you say is that I dropped the mind, which is these messages I'm not caring about. No? So you drop that. But perception is still continuing. The voice is heard, your very existence is palpable. You see? So you don't not exist in that way. Only what you have taken yourself to be for a long time, that you cannot find. Is that what it means when you say I don't exist?
True. When I say I, it was all about what I thought about me.
Yes. So that doesn't exist. It's true. So let that one go. Let that one go. Don't try to resolve anything for that one. Don't try to add anything to that one narrative. Just let it go. What remains is what you're looking for.
Yeah. And at the very next moment, it
Yes.
starts. Can I share this with Ananta? Oh wow! And now, and then that's again is my.
Yes. Yes. So just like I don't know if you heard my the conveyor belt with the sushi example. Did you hear that?
I would love to hear that. I have.
So now, of course, there's this chain of restaurants all over the world. But when I first saw it or heard about it, it was only in London. So what happened in this restaurant is that it's called Yo Sushi. Huh? So what happened is the chefs would be in the kitchen, they would be preparing the sushi, and then they would be laying it out on a conveyor belt. So this
Yeah.
conveyor belt would come across all the tables, you see,
Mm.
and the people who were sitting at the tables would just pick up the whatever they wanted. You see, they had a menu which had the color code, so if the bowl was red, then they knew what it was, and they would just pick it up. So, and at the end, they would have to pay for whatever bowls they picked up. So the mind is just like that conveyor belt. You see, it is presenting some ideas to you. Just don't pick up. If you want to be on a diet from calories, don't pick up any bowl from the tray. From if you want to be on a diet from vasanas and conditioning, don't pick up anything from that tray, from the conveyor belt. Let it come and go. Now what will happen? First is saying, no, but the picking up happens automatically. You see, that's presented in a bowl. No? Just let it come and go. You see, but I cannot do this. Let that come and go. You see? But it's not. I'm too caught up. You see, let that come and go. All whatever it is presenting, let it come and go. Don't give it truth value. Don't give it your assent. And that power for you as consciousness, as long as there's this being, you see, that power cannot be taken from you.
I'll keep that with me, Ananta.
Yes, that is good enough. That is very good. So you'll also notice that the mind will present to you that, oh, but effortlessly I'm picking up. You see? But if you look at the metaphor, it is designed to show you that actually the effort is in the picking up. Just to be sitting into your chair is not effortful. Although the mind's presentation for some time will be like that. It is natural for it to be like that. You see? So to follow Bhagwan's advice, as long as it feels like effort to come to effortlessness, we can make that effort. But ultimately, we will realize that even that was grace. So initially, if it feels like some effort to hold your hand like this and not pick up from the conveyor belt, just do that. It's fine.
That's very powerful. Thank you. I was struggling there,
Yeah.
where every time I question it on the validation of if it's requiring effort, then there was nowhere to go at some point of time and then I was at the same unconscious state. But now, when you say it, let's go for it initially.
Yes.
That will really help.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
Maybe if I'm not taken all the airtime, I always wonder how Ananta is between you and small u. So capital U and
Like, do you want my daily routine or what is it?
no. What is your conscious relation with your body?
It's fine. It's fine. In the sense, it's here. It's experience, but I don't take myself to be it. You see? It's here, just like you would take your phone or car or house. You see, it is taken to be that way. This body, and sometimes I refer to this one as this boy says, this kind of thing. But that can become too confusing, so I don't talk like that. But otherwise, it's here. It's like a watch or a phone or something.
Are you able to operate as efficiently as before?
Well, that you have to tell me. My wife doesn't feel like I operate at all.
That's everyone's wife, Ananta.
Yeah.
No, it's just that.
But more seriously, I don't feel like that. If you were to measure in terms of productivity or efficiency, my work still goes on. It's fine. You see, there's no trouble because of that. There was a time just after I met Guruji, there was feeling of no life force to get into that kind of work and things. But life took care of that and provided whatever life energy is needed to run this body and to make it move in whatever way it wants. So,
Yeah, thank you. Those practical questions do help, Ananta. Thank you very much. I'll leave it for others. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have a system where you don't have to worry about the length of the interaction at all. Because,
is it? And I have one more then.
but you also, you may not know about the transcript rule now.
I have heard that. I'll start doing that. I'll have to talk to somebody before I start. But yeah, thank you. Does the anyone else other than you around? Okay, let me talk about me. Around me, already feeling irritated because of my me sitting with you at 6 in the evening on Friday, and others activities, or trying less reactive or less enthusiastic as before. Is that okay? I mean, what? I don't need any solution or answer from it, but this is happening, and that's what I wonder.
To that one, you please give it to me. You see, I'm willing to sit at your feet and hear that answer, because that answer is not there. And if you were to ask everyone on this call, you see what their family and friends feel about them being in satsang, I'm sure at least 50-60% will give you a similar sort of response. It's fine. It's very natural for these things to happen. And actually, if it was the other way around, you see, we would also maybe, and if we were not in satsang and we were completely in a different frame of reference, then maybe we would also have reacted that same way.
Thank you, Anand.
Thank you.
hope to see you in person soon of this COVID. I'm just a few kilometers away. We still cannot.
Yes. Give my love to Varsha as well.
No, I think
I'm
I'm not
okay.
too much.
It's not yet anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Messing with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Jada.
Hello.
Hello, my dear. Is this the trouble with the transcripts? Are the tears because the trouble with the transcripts?
I wish, but no.
I can keep it to yes or no if you like.
But I really like to do transcript, really. Yeah, it's just so enjoyable to also in the act of doing. I don't know, I just enjoy it a lot, really. Thank you again for this. I don't know, I just cry and cry from the beginning.
How is the exploration about who you are going?
Mm.
That's where we left off, no? Last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you asked this, of course, inwardly, that question was going on.
Yeah, I'll just mute it.
Mhm. Yeah, first few days it was going on, and what has happened further, before, of course, like contemplation always was happening, and I was and sometimes doing nothing and sometimes listen meditation anyway. But after you asked me this question, something else happened there, and like immense searching, but it's like I was not doing, but immense what forcing somehow, and it felt like I will go crazy, really, like like a crazy. I tried to find something. First few days it was like this, and but I didn't give up. I mean, it was there, but it's like the seeing was obscured too, and actually what has happened that like I want to, what's this, yeah, hit my head to wall a lot, you know, just that feeling was incredibly present, like the head was like this.
I'll help you. Let me help you with the inquiry so that we spend time on the actual looking. So, one simple question I have for you, and I'm going to make the inquiry very simple for you because it is the nature of the mind to make it seem very confusing and to make you crazy, and it's so difficult. You see, it does that, and I went through that here as well for quite some time. So, what I'm going to say may also be a bit troublesome because
Like this, after you ask me this, after you give
yeah.
a
What I'm saying is that what has happened, you see, is not so relevant for us to discuss. What is more relevant is for the question to really be seated deeply in your heart. no? So I'm going to ask you a very simple question: who is aware of the perception of this hand? Who is aware of the perception of this hand? And this is for everyone. The perception of the hand is there, yes? Yes. Who is that one who is aware of it?
I cannot find.
Yes, but you are confirming. You are confirming the perception of this hand?
Perception is here.
Yes. And is the one sitting next to you telling you that?
No.
No, it's direct, no? It's direct. So that you, that is aware of this perception, that the perception is here, which one is that?
I don't know.
See? Now I'll give you the answer. That one is the true one. That one is the true one. That is aware of all perceptions that come and go. You see? So how do you recognize it when you confirm, yes, I am aware of this perception, that it is I that is aware. How do you confirm this I?
Sorry, I missed what you said.
Yes. Okay. So
I was.
I remember, it's okay. So with some of the ones who are also here, I have asked them this maybe 1,000 times. And at the end, they were like, you are not leaving satsang today, they told me, till you give us the answer to this question. Okay. They got so upset and irritated with this question. But actually, it's a very simple question. It's very, very straightforward. So the question is, who is aware of the perception of this hand?
Me.
You are.
I.
Yes. Now this I, what does that look like?
Look like me.
What does that mean? Elaborate. Elaborate on that. Looks like me means what?
Just me. In most natural way, it's me.
What is the color of this me? Where is
Just
this sitting?
Father, just me.
With
That
no attributes. No attribute, no quality.
no.
That's
Just
it. That's it. That's it. I know you're making half joke, but that's actually it. You see? That's actually it. That is the reality of you. It does not. It is that simple. Now represent only that one when you make a report about yourself. Try to represent only that one. The same one that is aware of this perception, which you very innocently, like a child said, actually, that it's just me. You see, it's got no color, it's got no shape, it's got no size. You see, you're speaking scripturally without realizing. You see, but and that innocence may help you with this. If you don't give it to the mind now, it may help you with this. So now you see that the one that is aware of all perception, about that one we cannot mention a single quality or attribute. We cannot say where it is, how old it is, when it was born. Yet we cannot say, I am not aware. It's so apparent. I am aware of the perception of the hand. It is undeniable. So this I that is aware, you see, now present only that one in your report about yourself.
What I'm supposed to do?
See, present only that one with the me you say, who is empty of all qualities. We cannot say really anything about in that way. How old is it? Where is it sitting? None of these things we can say about it. You see?
Okay.
And yet it is aware. Yet it is aware of all perception. So this you is the reality of you. All appearances come and go for it, but it is not dependent on any of them.
Okay. Then
Yes.
and who is suffering? I mean, through the satsang, I was suffering, really, literally.
Really, let's question the meaning of really. What do you mean by really? What is your definition of real? In Vedanta, which is what satsang is based on, most of satsang is based on, that which comes and goes is not real. So when you say really, you see, which means that you really believe it, You see, what does it mean? What do you mean by really? If it appears in perception, it is real.
Suffering was present,
Now,
was there.
what is it that is worthy of your belief? If it appears as tears or some contraction, energy, that makes it real, worthy of belief. So contemplate this.
Not
What do you mean
aware
by
that I
real?
had a
When you say really, and I saw the passion with which you said that, and I'm happy to meet that passion with the contemplation of what is real. You see, what is real? When we say really, it was like this. What makes something real? Is the appearance of something that makes it real, but that is the opposite of Vedanta. Vedanta is saying if it can be perceived, it is unreal, because all perceptions come and go. So what do we mean by really? This is the questioning. Otherwise, we can remain in our narrative, you see, and time can seem like it is real. Time can seem like it is real because you use that to explain that suffering was true. Because you said before we have the conversation, you were really suffering. All of satsang actually means to be in the company of that which is true, which can also mean the company of that which is real. You see? So when you are so authoritative that it was really like that, I want to know what real means to you. Because that's what all of us are exploring. What is real?
It was there. I mean, something was there.
When you
Something
say
was in front of my perception.
yes, so it was perceived. And by the virtue of it being perceived, is it enough to say it is real just because it is perceived?
I don't know about real or not real, Father, but it
No, wait, you don't know because you said really. You see? So we use that idea, we use the idea to say, okay. So like a mirage in a desert, it is perceived. You see? It is perceived. Does it make it real? Like what is perceived right now is that we are on a very stable ground. It is not moving. But what are the scientists telling us? The earth is moving like this also very fast, and it's moving around the sun also very fast. You see? So what is real? Can perception be concluded just because it is seen, it is to be believed? Like seeing is believing, is that true?
now when you say space has opened and it was clear that I have a choice to believe or not, but before it was not clear to me. I mean, when it appears.
That's good. So now, good. So this choice is made. This is very good. So now what will you choose to believe as real? On what basis?
Father.
The mind will distract you. Don't go
Yes,
away from my question.
I stop it.
Because it will get very threatened with this kind of questioning. And it may get irritated, frustrated, angry, crying. All of that may happen. It's fine. You see, but this is worth it. You see, this is my only service to you is for this. So very beautifully, you came to the discovery, I have the choice to believe or to not believe. Now the critical question for you is, what will you choose to believe to be real?
Now I see something which like makes me lead to believe. Like I don't want to reject and suppress anything which is present, and it seems like it is a somehow making the connection for me to
Yes.
go there.
Yes. So what are you saying? That you will believe what? Everything that is perceived?
No.
Okay, then?
but
What
I don't want
believe to
to
be true?
reject too.
Okay, then what will you believe?
I don't need to believe.
Are you still with me, or this is just coming from some like emotional response?
No, not emotional. I mean, believe is like a something which is like from here to here. So I don't need to send it
Very good,
away.
very good, very good. So now let's return to a similar example. So now your perception is not saying hand, long, you see, male. It's not saying any of that. You see, so empty of any of that interpretation. What is in front of you? If you don't take that leap, like you said, you just stay directly with what is being perceived, then what is in front of you? So if I say to you, if I say to you, believe this, can you do it? You cannot believe or not believe a perception, isn't it? You need to believe an idea about it, which you identified as the leap. You see, is the leap you take away from perception. You see, but everything that you need to know is already inherent in the perception itself. You see, so the only thing now you will not be able to do is to create a false identity, because to create a false identity, you need to take that leap. The mind will struggle with this. And
No, I try to understand the false identity.
yes,
Right.
it uses the narrative of the interpretations of perception. You see, it uses the narrative based on the interpretation of perception. And this is why transcript is helpful, because the words can seem complicated otherwise. So basically, it uses the story which it presents on top of what you are perceiving to put you as a limited character in that story. Without the interpretation, it is not possible to put you as a character.
Okay, I
By
see.
the way,
And
this does not mean that we are rejecting anything. We are neither accepting nor rejecting. We are just remaining neutral. Because I know that the mind will play that also and say, oh, but does this mean I have to reject my suffering, reject my, you see, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying neither that nor that, unless you can find a basis for claiming that that is true. You only want that which is true.
was it a question?
Yeah, so it's obvious. Hopefully, you see, it may not be as obvious a question as it sounds, because I can promise you that 100% of our beliefs are not true. But we only believe them because we think they are true.
Sorry, now I.
It's okay, we can come back to this. So I feel like it'll be useful to just recap. Who is aware of the perception of this hand? Who is it?
Me.
Is it? What does that me look like?
Me.
Is it orange? Is it small? Is it large? Is it 10 years old? Is it 100 years old? What can we say?
Nothing. Yet me.
Exactly, exactly. Now that which we can only recognize but never really speak about, now that is your reality. Everything else is an appearance in time and space, which is fine for it to appear. You see, but when we take this appearance to mean that I am an object, only an object in this appearance, that is when suffering starts or trouble begins. Without that it is not possible to suffer. Without that, it is possible for the appearance of pain to appear. But to suffer from pain is a mental exercise.
I'm sorry.
Yeah?
Sorry.
You'll be watching this many times. You don't.
Maybe I wanted to add. Father,
Now,
may I?
whatever you report now, you have to present yourself as what you have just discovered, not as the one that you don't know.
It no reports. I
Ah.
wanted to ask a question, if I may.
If it's not a distraction, you have to trust your own heart and tell me whether your mind is distracting you with a question, because this is really all that I'm saying. When you come to this self-discovery, you see, when you come to this self-discovery and you see yourself as this true one, as pure awareness itself, then is your question in reference to that?
But why again and again I found myself like this at the same point. So I want to bring this and we can look if it is really a problem or not.
This is the nature of conditioning, that although the truth is ever available to us, you see, although the truth is always available to us, but conditioning seems to have some momentum. So it has a habit, you see. So that is why, otherwise, I shared the first satsang 8 years ago, and that should have been the last satsang. I have had to share for 8 years because conditioning keeps presenting new propositions, new beliefs, and we need to clean up all of that. So it's very natural that although you may have an insight about what you really are, when the proposals from the mind are coming about that which you are not, but you have taken yourself to be for a long time, they can still seem to have some gravitation pull over us.
Father, I want to bring something.
I want you to look at who you are. Whose want will you go with more?
Who?
Whose want will you want to go with more?
Who's want to go?
You want to look at something. I want you to look at who you are. Whose want will you value more? That's a good question. I should use that often.
I couldn't understand your question.
Okay.
Now I'm a little bit dumb. I don't know if there's such a word like dumb, but
Okay, it's okay. So you want to look at something, no? So this is one hand is you. I want you to look at who you are. What is your reality? You see? Now, which should we value more? Which should we accept?
yours.
Okay. Good.
But the other one troubling. Okay, just know that the other one troubling me when you are not with me.
Yes.
Please know.
But I am this one, you have to trust, is the solution to all possible trouble. All trouble, not just what is troubling you now or yesterday or last week, all trouble. You see, the mind will convince you to solve the wrong problem and to keep solving it over and over again and resist you from solving this true inquiry, which you made some headway in today. So I'm happy with that. But don't allow your mind to distract you. Satsang is not to solve trouble again and again and again. Satsang is to chop off the root of all trouble.
Yeah, I see, Father. Also, I didn't left any problem.
Exactly.
Like really,
Yeah, good. Really, really, really. What is really? We come to satsang to find the truth. And truth and really is same thing. So that is the main question. What is real? A dream is real?
yeah.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what is real now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I cannot. I don't know what is real.
So why I'm harping on this point again and again is because like there are some politicians, every time they lie, they say, believe me. Okay. The same way the mind will come and tell you, this is how it is, really. But you can question that and say, really? What do you mean, really? What does real mean?
Father, I'm just so happy about giving this real thing. Okay, because also thoughts and I don't know, we can create.
You have enough fodder for today. No? I have given you my highest teaching in a way. You see? I have given you today my highest teaching. So stay with that. Don't allow your mind any space to say, but this and that and this. You stay with what I have highest for you.
For weeks you are doing this.
Huh? Huh?
For weeks you are doing this to me.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Anika. Yes. She's been waiting a long time.
Hello, Ananta. Did you call my name?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Oh, see, thank you. I just put my headphone on because it's better like this. And I just can't see you now. I don't know why. I see Jada now. Maybe.
It was better actually before you did that.
No, it's fine. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me ask the question. And again, I have my paper. So I would just read it if you don't mind.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So I understand then all is good, even this question and your answer is good. And all this play of identification and waking up from identification is all God. And also I understand that this mind is just a bucket and won't ever understand this play. But I would like to ask about this evil energies.
Evil energy.
Evil, like black energies, must working also as a part of God then. And sometimes they seem really...
Before we go there, Media, can we pause for a moment?
Yes, sure.
See, when you say that I understand that all is God, what do you mean by that? Just expand on that a bit.
Yes, but I understand I have to use I, but because we was talking last time, and I is got very clear then every part of the life, every aspect of the life, even the playing of that manifested word, and then I believe I am this body, and even then we are speaking now, and you let me know then I am not this body as an alarm clock, and I start to come out from this dream, and is all the play of the God. This
Yes,
is what
but
I'm...
to understand that, you see, there are two ways to understand this. One is that I believe it. So I heard from the master, So now I want to believe that all is God. You see, so I have a concept in my intellect. Is he saying all is God? There is no separation. You see?
Yeah.
The other understanding is that I don't need a concept. You see, I don't need a concept, but in my heart, in my intuition, it is apparent that there is no separation. So when you say I understand that, which one are you talking about?
Yes, at the moment I'm talking about the first one, then I just want to believe, and I believe it's true because you say and Guruji say, but I remember there was times, maybe short times or longer times in my life when I was in Sahaja or Tiruvannamalai, when it was really true for me. At the moment is just maybe another concept, but I believe more than mine own concepts.
So for a moment,
Yeah.
don't understand anything. Don't understand anything at all. You don't have to understand. And all
But
that.
still, can I after ask the
Yeah,
question?
we'll definitely come to the dark energies. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
thank you.
What I'm saying is that just for a few moments, you don't have to understand anything at all. No reasoning, no God, no self, no, no nothing, no opposites of any sort. Just let go of every concept that the mind is presenting to you.
Because there is in my mind, and there is some thing. Then I have to answer whatever you will ask now, and so I have to be ready to say
Yes,
something
this is very good.
clever.
This is very good. You said that. Okay. Now, when you answer, if there is no answer, don't answer. You see?
Yeah.
Just if an answer comes just in the mouth, it may feel like it's coming from the heart, but don't worry. Sometimes the answer is just coming in the mouth. But if it is just in the mind, let it come and go. Don't worry. You see? You don't have the right answer. In fact, I don't want any right answer. You see? Just let go. Are you still here?
Yes.
That which is still here, does it have any distinctions about anything? There's no rush to answer. I don't want the right answer. Just naturally, if something comes, you can answer. But just it's important to look. That which is here, what distinctions does it have? Or is it making?
I can't really answer.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Is anything troubling you?
When you say you, then you mean this.
No, don't go there in that playground at all.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
Let that come and go. It's fine. Just naturally, if some response comes, you respond. Don't worry. Remember that I'm not judging you in any way.
There is so many things in here, and they just.
Yeah, let them come and go. Let them come and go. Like the bowls of sushi, which you don't have to pick up. You just come and they go.
I'm sorry. I can't explain.
I can't either.
I don't understand.
And you don't have to. I said, and you don't have to.
I don't have to.
Understanding is only an attempt to squeeze the entire ocean into our head. You see? And there's no chance that that can ever happen. No wonder we do so much with it. This bucket is not big enough to contain the entire ocean.
Ananta, I don't know what's going on.
Good.
Because there is some really
There's no cause for whatever is going on.
I just there is some then I should know.
Yeah? And yet we have never known. We have never known that way, you know. We don't know anything that way.
Because now his feeling is things is not happening to me. So who is the one? So
Don't go
with
there.
who is
Just leave it.
just leave it.
Yeah. Don't understand. Even the highest spiritual pointers will come as distractions to you.
Another question is always coming.
Let's see how many it has.
Because this seems very important.
See you, guys.
I'm crazy. Is it going to be on YouTube or something?
Of course, we should do only this. And
Ah. So I don't know.
you don't have to.
But how to live like?
You don't know, need to know.
Yes. My teeth. So,
Don't go there.
yeah, okay. I just need you to be always next to me to say not go there. So, because this black energy.
Everything that starts with because, forget about it.
So what shall I do now?
You don't have to understand that. Don't go there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand. Because without understanding,
Yeah. Anything that starts with
because
because, throw it away.
yeah.
There is no cause.
No, I just want to keep. I just don't want to lose. I just want to remember.
This, lose this, lose this that you want to keep.
I see how the mind is playing. It is very funny.
It isn't funny.
It is funny. It is very funny. Because I always want to convince me. I'm sorry.
It's very good.
Yeah. tell me now what just shall I go now or?
No? We'll keep the answer.
Yeah. My answer. Thank you, Ananta.
Oh, well.
Thank
This is like the sadhu falafel conversation.
you. Thank you so much.
You don't have to understand anything. Because your mind now, after this, will present all proposals to you to try and understand even this conversation. You don't have.
I won't even. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's go to Beatrice, Leela, and Edgar. So Beatrice first.
Namaste, Father. Can you hear me?
Yes, little louder is good.
Your audio is good. Yes.
Okay, it's good. It's good.
So there is some identification that is still happening, and I feel like maybe this identification also it's not what I am. It feels like when identification happens or comes, this illusion feels like I don't know, like an eye that go again with identification, or that there is a belief of this identification or something. I don't know if
Yes. Just relax your forehead. Just keep your forehead relaxed. That's it. Can you identify with your forehead relaxed?
I don't know.
Try to identify, but don't make any juice in your head. What question is left?
I don't know what to say. There is no question, but there is a feeling like incompleteness or something, or
There, whatever proposes completeness or incompleteness, just leave that.
yes.
Don't try to conclude anything about yourself. Whatever conclusion you make will not be true anyway. Either way.
Yeah, that is a kind of I or something that is perceived, no? That is in the realm of
Every conclusion, all spiritual one also, just leave it. Whether it is I, not I, just leave it. Everything. Nothing to put in the story. That is what is frustrating, no? At times. But allow that frustration to wobble a bit. It'll go away. Don't worry.
Even say this frustration is a sensation, and that's all. It's even a
Yes.
conclusion.
But even that conclusion you don't need.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Let's go to Laura.
Hello, Ananta-ji.
Hello, my love.
I love you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So welcome. So welcome.
Thank you for everything.
So welcome. Good time, don't worry.
I've been listening to you since October,
Nicely.
and since December I wanted to talk with you, but there was a very strong resistance because first I thought like I don't know speak English, so I couldn't understand. He won't understand me.
Oh, you speak very well.
But I know that was only a resistance,
Yeah.
only a narrative that is not true.
Yes.
And then it's not true. And also because I know that you speak the language of love, and it doesn't matter if you don't understand my language. And then I just want to expose these body-mind addictions and bad habits and vices. I know I've been struggling with this for a long time, but I know I want to chop the root, because today is addiction and yesterday was other thing and tomorrow will be another.
Yes.
And I just want to put this at your feet because I really want to know who I am, because when I'm connected with my truth, there is nothing, there are no vices, there are nothing with things that I have to struggle. There is just, I don't know, silent truth. And I just want to expose myself to you because I feel in the bottom of my heart that this is so important to me now. And thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. It really touched my heart to hear you. Yeah. So you feel like the recognition that is being pointed to, do you feel like it is oscillating or it's quite tangible? What is your report?
With your pointers, with your points?
With your recognition of what is being pointed to, do you feel like that it's shaky, or do you feel like it's pretty apparent, it's pretty clear?
You mean with this satsang now, right? With what we've been talking about.
We can start. Yes, we can start with this.
Yes, I feel I feel very calm.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel calm.
Yeah. And do you feel like a question like I was asking earlier, like who's aware of the perception of the hand? Do you feel like you can look at it? You can look together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yes. And there is a question when you ask about the hand.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure if this question I'm giving this question to my mind, but is also is always arising since I don't know, like 1 month ago, that when I'm practicing the invitation, Muji asks, can it get sentimental or emotional? Emotional is the word. And I interpret that it can't. But then, for example, when I listen to you, or when I listen Muji's points, I get very emotional and I cry or I laugh or yes. And then my question is, where does these emotions or comes from? Because I feel like it is from my heart, but I know intellectually that it can be emotional.
Okay, good. That's a good place to start. So let's look at this. So there can be a concept of something, like in the world, when often we hear about people, they will say, I'm not very head, I'm mostly heart. But usually when they speak like that, they are talking about an emotional sort of response. You see, we go with the heart. But in satsang, when we use the term, as you know, when we use the term heart, we are using it for a deeper intelligence, which is the intuition. You see, so the intuitive heart is what we refer to as the heart. So from that perspective of the heart being this intuitive intelligence, then the appearance of emotions, you see, is another aspect of the perception of the world. You see, it's just another part of the manifest creation. You see, just like there can be clouds in the sky, sometimes very beautiful looking cloud, sometimes very dark looking cloud, very scary looking cloud with lightning and all of that. In the same way, then at the layer of emotion, then these kind of clouds can come and go of all different varieties. You see, now that which is aware of the perception of these clouds, you see, that which is aware, is that changing its state in any way because of what cloud is appearing?
No.
So that is Guruji's question. So does that get sentimental?
Okay.
It is to look at with the arising of these states. It's not a question of whether the state should arise or not. They will. As long as the human existence is there, all the states can come and go. It's all fine. You see? But what we are checking on is to see whether the reality of you is changing along with the states in some way. That is what the question is. So of course, emotions can arise from the emotional center, which we call the heart, you see, which we can also call the heart. But in satsang, what we refer to as the heart is more the intuitive inside. Like when I ask you the question, are you aware now? You do not see the one that is aware, and yet you can confirm, yes, I'm aware. You see? So that is the intuitive heart that we are speaking of, the seat of pure knowledge, the seat of self-knowledge. And the problem with language is that very limited words. So we have to pick up some words and use them in different ways. No? So we should have invented a new sort of term for that intuitive intelligence, but we just ended up using the heart as a term. So there's a physical heart, which is the physical heartbeat. Then the world refers to the emotional heart, which is saying, no, I'm just heart, So if I'm feeling joy, it's all joy. I don't let my rationality come in the way, is what most people say when they're talking about, I'm all heart. But the heart that we are referring to is the seat of pure intelligence, that which for which self-knowledge is so apparent. When I say, who's aware of the perception of this hand? You see, your head cannot answer really, you see, and its answer is meaningless even if it does. But here in your heart is unmistakable, unmistakable and undeniable that it is you. But it is that you which doesn't have a start or an end, doesn't have a birth or a death. So this is the heart that we are speaking of.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Very happy to hear your report. Have you heard it?
Thank you. And one last thing, I just want to ask you a little prayer for. I'm from Colombia and I'm living in Cali. We are in a war since a long time.
Place where the front line is the resistance is fully strong. Yes. Is it starting to settle a bit or is it still full on? I was asking Paula. I don't know if you know Paula. Paula is also from Colombia.
Yes, she's my sister. She's my sister.
Oh, I see.
Yes. And I'm living in Cali, where is the center of all the things that are happening, and we are living very hard times. I know this is in all the world, but I just wanted to ask a prayer for us and for more conscious for this country, please.
Yes. Actually, Colombia has been in my heart for a few weeks now, because I saw this YouTube documentary about the front line and these kids who are fighting the government and these things, and it really touched my heart. And Colombia has been in my prayers in time, and I'm happy that you reinforced that. May Guruji's grace just take care of the whole nation and everyone. We just make sure that you are safe and you're not taking any undue risks with the situation.
I'm good. Very much. Thank you very much, very much. I love you so much. Thank you for your patience.
Oh. Let's go to Leela. Did I make the Leela joke before? No.
Hello. Hello, Ananta.
Go to Leela within the Leela. Did I say this before?
No, it's actually Lila, but
Lila.
it's Lila. It's okay. I don't want to be trapped in the Leela. Yeah. I just I know all my questions have all been answered, and I need to listen to this whole thing again. It's just such a resistance. Transcribing. Sorry,
my love. I'll just mute everyone because there's some background noise coming. Okay, let me now unmute you. It should be better.
So doing this transcription from last week, I say you said something that I just passed right over. You said, "Is it clear to you that consciousness, or you as consciousness has the ability to, I can't remember if you said let go of and pick up anything. And and I just and I haven't answered that it's not clear. It's just not clear. And listening to you saying about who perceives this hand, how it go for me, it goes, there's an answer that there's a perception, but then there's the feeling, it goes I, and that is located, it feels located. It feels located, and it doesn't, I don't know if it's true. I think all this time that I've been looking at I, it may be a personal I, and sometimes I can't tell the difference between this feeling and the feeling of fear, this feeling of I and fear. And I don't know if it's different. And so I think like all this time I may have been just thinking, going to this a thought, the I, if this is the I thought and not, it's not, it's very located. So yeah.
Good, I can help you with this. This is a good one. So I said, who is aware of the perception of this hand? You said, in hearing this question, there's a feeling that comes up in response, and the feeling seems to carry the message of I, but this is not unlimited. This is located. This seems like it is limited. You see?
Yes.
Now, who is aware of that limitation or of that feeling? Isn't that feeling also another perception?
Is what is the one that's aware another perception?
Yeah, because this is the most important thing. So we'll go really slowly. So you said the feeling arises. Now, would you say that this feeling is also perceived?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And that who is aware of even this perception, who is that?
It feels like my mind is taking it over because it knows it's supposed to be this spacious. Yeah. But it feels a little farther back, but still limited.
Yes, it's good. It's good. You're doing well.
Really gripping. There's something gripping on.
Don't worry. Whatever it is, just expose it, and we'll look at it together. So, if there's some imagery of like dark, empty space, the question still remains, because even dark is perceived. Just like light is perceived, dark is also perceived. So, who is aware of that perception of dark or empty?
There is a loud message. I can't go back further. I can't.
Yes, we know it can't. It can't. Definitely, it can't. Okay. That which is completely can't go there. So don't worry with that one.
Don't worry. Sorry.
Yeah, about that one, because the mind cannot go there. It's right about.
Okay. This. Okay. That's yeah.
So let that be. You see. Now, I want to present it very simply to you. You are aware of these perceptions, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So how are you able to confirm that? Do you see this I that is aware of the perception?
No. No.
Another thought that you have, no, I must be the one that is aware of the perception? Is it
no.
On thought? No.
No.
Yet it is so clear, isn't it? You cannot deny it. I mean, if I were to tell you, no, you are not aware of the perception of the screen in front of you and the hand in it, you'll say, of course I am. Isn't it?
Yes.
Is it?
It feels that this.
Yeah.
This is fighting so hard to be in, to get in. And
yes.
It's the same one that I feel it's the same one that wants to get all of my medical things, be assured that this body is never going to die. It's like clinging onto these and fighting to be in the middle.
Yes. You started it well. It's the same one. But here, this one cannot go. It can present many solutions and proposals, but none of them mean anything. You see? It's just simpler than that. It's so simple, no? You are aware of the perception, but this you don't see it. You see? You don't have to think about it. And yet it is so clear it is you. So that simplicity is self-recognition. Believe it or not. That simplicity, which is independent of having to see something or independent of having to think something, that is self-recognition. It is the only thing, quote unquote, thing you know in this way. For everything else, you need a perception or a notion.
So this I that I go to is just another perception. It's just the
Yes.
feeling of I. That's not.
Find out if you are aware of it or it is aware of you.
Yeah.
Is the feeling aware of you or you are aware of the feeling?
Yes.
And you see that you
okay.
are aware. So awareness has to be prior. It has to be greater.
I feel I've been clinging to the wrong one, and I don't know. I've been clinging to that I all this time, thinking that. I think following like Ramana saying that it goes to the spiritual heart and trying to go to a location. And
let me give you some more good news. The good news is that even that many times what we are holding on to is the palpable taste of the essence of beingness itself. You see?
Okay.
So it's not such bad news. It's like being in the presence of God. It's fine.
Okay. So you can sort of go in and just hold on to that.
Yes.
Sense.
Yes.
When being
so it's a
buffeted
win-win,
around.
as the American
Okay.
it's a win-win situation.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
As long as you're not taking any mental representation to be true about you, all is gone. All is fine.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Let's go to Mr. Cool. Hi.
Namaste, Ananta-ji.
Namaste, my love. Is that actually your last name or is it a representation of being cool? Oh, did I lose you? 1 second. You have to unmute again.
It's my Dutch last name.
Ah, I see. Good.
Hey, I can tell you the meaning in Dutch.
Yes, please do.
Cabbage.
Ah, I see. That's nice. That's,
Mr. Cabbage.
Mr. Cabbage. That's nice. That's so sweet. It sounds like one of those books that children have, Mr. Men books.
Yes.
Sorry if I
I come.
The question that you had.
So no question actually. Just coming at your feet with so much joy and gratitude and appreciation for this moment. Actually, there's a family of 3 young kids, so there's not a lot of time in my life to really sit with full attention in your grace in this way. And so very grateful to be able to thank you directly like this.
Very good. Right here with me in my heart, and thank you for this. It's really very touching. I'm happy to have this opportunity as well. Cool. Love to you and your children. I remember them from our last conversation also you mentioned.
Yeah.
How old are they now, your 3 kids?
There's 2 boys. They are 4 and 2, almost 5 and 3. And there's a little girl, almost 9 months now.
Yes.
So it's beautiful practice
and
every day and every night.
Yes. It gets a bit easier. Well, I won't say it gets easier. Now my kids are both teenagers, so I won't say it gets easier. It's just the nature of the trouble changes.
Yeah.
It's not so much the late night waking and things, but it's a different type of late night waking.
Yeah. I look forward to all of the phases and all of the everything that it puts into the light. Every phase. It's very strong and very beautiful. Yeah.
Very, very. My full love, full blessings to all of
you. Thank you.
Love you, love you, love you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Satsang.
Thank you, Father. So blessed to be at your feet. I just want to expose this one that comes when there is a situation that the person used to be very attached to, like arguments or those type of things. Like it's very, very easy to go with that one. And
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It is natural that sometimes it's like the grooves are there. And when something falls into that groove, it seems natural to go along with that. But you don't have to worry, because in satsang, all these grooves are being cleaned away. All these grooves are being cleaned away. Don't be very impatient with yourself. There will be times where if something is familiar and there's a way that we're used to responding, that may come back. You see? But don't judge yourself too harshly in those situations. Be as kind to yourselves as you're trying to be with everyone else. And soon you will find that in the openness, then these grooves will also start to dissolve. And you laugh at some of this as you go along.
It's funny you say that. The brother yesterday told me that because I was so in the mind and I couldn't got out of that. It was like, sometimes it feels like I am in the illusion and I am aware of that and I cannot get out of that. And it's so silly sometimes.
I have a tip for you then. Just treat this body as another appearance, as part of the world appearance. You don't have to pressurize yourself that this body has to be a true representative of the truth that you're finding or something like that. You see? Let that come organically later, as it has to. For now, just like you're treating every other appearance, your siblings, your friends, you see, they're also appearing in front of you. This one is also like that. So don't have any expectation that that behavior has to change, or now that one has to be in a different way or something. Inwardly, you be as open and empty as you can, and don't worry about how this one is behaving or saying.
I trust you, Fire, with my whole heart.
Very good.
I know.
Very good. Here also feel like that. I see that body saying some words. I see this body saying some words. Both are appearing in front of me. Neither can I truly say is more me than the other. So then this boy, this appearance of this man, not boy now with grey hair, but is free to play out as it is playing out in the light of consciousness.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, I feel we are done for today. At least my throat is done for today. Somebody wants to sing for us? Aditya is here, but he has to have his mask. Singing, Radha is clear. Yes.
Hello, Father.
No idea.
जो गुरु कृपा करे, जो गुरु कृपा करे, कोटिक कर्म कटत पल छिन में, कोटिक कर्म कटत पल छिन में, जो गुरु कृपा करे, जो गुरु कृपा करे। प्रथम नमन, sorry Father.
It's fine.
नमन करूं गुरु चरणन में, 68 तीरथ चरणन में। प्रथम नमन करूं गुरु चरणन में, 68 तीरथ चरणन में। पूर्ण होत मनोरथ मन के, जो गुरु कृपा करे, जो गुरु कृपा करे। गुरु की महिमा हरि सो भारी, वेद पुराण सब ही विचारी। गुरु की महिमा हरि सो भारी, वेद पुराण सब ही विचारी। ब्रह्मा ध्यान धरे पल छिन में, जो गुरु कृपा करे, जो गुरु कृपा करे। गुरु बिन ज्ञान कहाँ से पाऊं, गुरु बिन ज्ञान कहाँ से पाऊं। गुरु महान गुरु के गुण गाऊं, गुरु बिन ज्ञान कहाँ से पाऊं। गुरु महान गुरु के गुण गाऊं, गुरु चरणन में शीश धरे सकल, जो गुरु कृपा करे, जो गुरु कृपा करे। जन्म जन्म के भाग्य खुले हैं, आनंदपुर में दर्श मिले हैं। जन्म जन्म के भाग्य खुले हैं, आनंदपुर में दर्श मिले हैं। कृपा बनी रहे दासन पे, जो गुरु कृपा करे, जो गुरु कृपा करे, कोटिक कर्म कटत फल छिन्नि, कोटिक कर्म कटत फल छिन्नि, जो गुरु कृपा करे, जो गुरु कृपा करे.
Very nice, very beautiful. And your aura is also functioning very well. It is going a bit on and off.
I don't know why it does that, Father. I keep changing room with this.
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.